Feel free to situate yourself around if you feel like you need to move at your table to see it a little bit better, feel free to do that. And you can just go to the next open page in your book. And like I said, I would start kind of towards the top of the page. Draw large enough so that you have room for detail for those small things, but don't draw so big that you can't fit it on the page. And like I said, I'm going to start with that shape up at the top. And you will probably have to erase, and that's okay. And so I'm just going to start out. You want to try to get it as close as you can in terms of the right angles. Is that showing up on there? Oh, it's a little high. And really, I really think that the first thing you do is probably the first shape that you draw is probably the hardest part. I think after that it starts to get a little bit easier because things end up being parallel to that, and it just makes it a little bit easier. But for example, so if I'm happy with this angle, I do know that the other angle over here has to be parallel to that. This inside part of that leg is the same, going in the same direction as the other. But when I get to about right there, I think I went a little too far. That's where I come and this line meets up with that back leg. So I need to follow that edge of the back leg. And then I can connect these two. I get down the back leg and then I run into the top part of that stool. So I have to follow that line over. And that's just the first one. It doesn't look like much, and I know that. That's all right. From right here, I tend to just go, I try to look for the next shape that I can see, the closest shape. So for me, there's a little triangle that I see between these two legs. So there's this bar, there's the inside of that bar, which is parallel to what I already have drawn, so that's kind of nice. I also know that the seat continues over here, so I know that this line that I add right here has to be just a continuation of this one I already have drawn. And then, again, this edge, if you imagine this edge continuing down, that's got to line up. I guess it's not really a triangle, almost. And then right above it I see a little triangle also. Tiny little one. Alright, then the next one down that I see that I think will be easiest, I don't know, just kind of a tricky step. I'm going to do this one going down the same side here on the left. So now basically I just have to decide how much room should there be between the top of that step of the stool and the bottom of that same step. So I think there's about that much room. And again, it should be parallel to the line I already have. When I follow that line back, it's running into the back leg, which I already have drawn on the angle of up here, so I'm going to continue that down. And then I hit another bar, so then I gotta go back the other way. But first I'm going to draw this one, because again, that's the same thing, kind of a continuation of the one above it. And then this one is parallel to that as well. Oh, it's a little too long. So remember, you're all witnesses. Your teacher has to erase to do this too. So if you don't erase at all, maybe you think you're better than me. I don't know. That's fine too. Maybe you are. I have to erase. I'm just saying be comfortable erasing. And then I just find the next shape over. I think I don't know, that's a tip I would give you, is it's easiest for me to recognize the next closest shape. You don't want to start out with the outline, like the outside border. You want to do that last. You don't want things to be sort of, otherwise it can be really restricting. It kind of can seem like it's hard to fit everything into that shape. It's starting to come together. Do you guys see it? I'm a little off here, but gonna keep going. And it's gonna take me half as long as it's gonna take you, because I've done this a lot. I teach drawing one 5 or 6 times a year, and I do this every time. So the more you try to do things like this, the easier it'll get for you also. I will also say that you're gonna use this a lot actually for your contour line drawing that we were talking about yesterday. Your sometimes when you get stuck, it's gonna be a lot easier to try to draw the negative spaces, even though it doesn't seem like this is ever gonna be the easier thing to do. Sometimes it is easier to draw these negative spaces than it is to try to draw the actual object. It's just another tool, another way to trick yourself into drawing with your right side of your brain. All right, almost done here. One thing to remember, you guys, is that if any of your lines overlap, then you're not doing it right. If your lines cross, if I just went like this, and this line crossed those two, then I'm drawing the stool instead of the negative space. I'm kind of cheating. This isn't exactly right, but we're going to go with it anyway for right now. Close. It's pretty close. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is the outside edge, because that's all that's left. So at that point, then you can draw that outside edge to the whole thing. Remember, as you're drawing, that it's really important, if your lines are crossing, then you're not drawing that negative space. And, you know, if you just whip through it and you don't care about that, fine, but again, it's just another example of something that's not going to help you unless you let it. Ah, that's okay. It's all right. So then what you're going to do is there's markers over there. You're just going to take a marker and you're going to color in those negative spaces. So the only thing that is white on your page is going to be the stool itself. I'm not going to do them all. But you're just going to take a marker. And you don't have to, if you want to have fun with it, you can definitely use more than one color. I don't care. I'm just going to show you this really quickly. And you don't have to color all the way out to the edge either. You can just color about, I don't know, like an inch out. Just so that there's some kind of contrast between that and the background. Make sense? It's hard. It's okay if it takes you all hour, that's good. That's all right. Okay, take your time with it.